Hey everyone, just a very informal, just quick connect with all of you because you should have received a text yesterday asking you to pray for a meeting that happened last night between about half of our leadership team and most of the leadership team of this other church that we've been talking to about uniting. Marketplace term would be merging. So I just felt like you should have an update, especially since you all should be fully aware that our vision, our hope has been our goal has been to be in a space and place of our own by Easter of next year for a bazillion reasons. So we've been engaged in this conversation. It happened here at our home last night, out in the back around a fire. Just try to create just a really natural, relaxed setting. We had some small conversation over food, and then we just dove in. And the conversation was mainly led by our side because we had some clarifying questions connected to some of their history and maybe some difficult parts of the church history that has led to it dwindling down to about 20 people, and about some of their approach to ministry and expectations, like to even become a member of the church, and just all of that, cultural questions. And so we talked through all of those things. And I could overwhelm you with details and content, but I feel like this will just give you the best picture of what is happening behind the scenes, because you're not able to be there to hear these conversations. The best example I could give is when Shauna and I first met and then got married. So especially when we were younger, we were complete opposites. I mean, we were clearly attracted to each other and loved each other and saw all the potential for a special relationship with each other for the future. But coming into it, we were total opposites. I was the extrovert. I was impulsive. I was a fast decision maker. I was maybe some rules or suggestions, things like that, and like let's have fun. And Shauna she was very fun and loved to have fun. However, she is a planner. She's a processor. There are lines, there are rules. She likes the rules. She's very good at the rules, which I respected, and it drove me crazy too. And just my personality drove her crazy sometimes. But bottom line is, we had to make that all work. And we did. Like, now we're 36 and a half years in, and she's the best thing in my life. Our marriage, is the best thing in our life. So we saw the potential. But to get there, the reason why I share that's kind of what we're dealing with here. We're dealing with what's now a very small church, that the whole history has really been more like my wife, that there are rules and guidelines, and we need to know all the rules and all the guidelines and make sure we're really clear on these rules and follow these rules. Whereas for New Life, we are definitely far more about relationship. And we talked about that last night. And so the question is there enough to be able to make these two things mesh? Because I want you to know, and hopefully this will be encouraging to you, not discouraging to you. I will say the one thing that I, as a leader, and I think I speak for our leadership team, that I'm not willing to compromise on is on our culture, our philosophy of ministry, our goal. And the simplest way I can articulate for us is that we want to do everything we can to create a church that the unchurched and dechurched would love to attend and engage, so that we can help them find and follow Jesus. And then they would help others find and follow Jesus. And we're not going to change that. And so the biggest changes and challenges really would be for this other church, because again, they're coming up front with like a lot of rules and expectations, and here's what we believe, and if you want to be a part of us, here's what you need to believe. Where for us, our focus is really on Jesus. Like, that's the starting point, and then we're going to build from there. But we try to keep the rungs in the ladder as low as possible. The ability to get on what would be for us membership, the servant team, is actually quite simple. Baptized follower of Jesus. You are on board as far as a church. You're attending, you're giving, you're serving. Whereas for this other church, because of their tradition, it's like there's like a 20-page document plus another 5-page to agree to before you become a member. So again, some big cultural differences. But I just want to assure you, as much as I'm passionate about moving, I love the possibility of this particular building that would come with this and all that, and the potential to add more workers to our community and connections and friendships and things like that. I'm not going to compromise on the most important thing, which is ultimately Jesus and leading people to Jesus and growing in Jesus. So I just need you to know that. So that means that like this process, and also I'm also behind the scenes, I'm not banking on this by any means. I'm still pursuing, and our team is still pursuing other options of possible partnerships, or their buildings we might lease or rent or things like that. Yeah. So again, I had no script for this. I felt like you deserve, because you're part of our community. We're a family, and we're also like a movement together. You needed to have an update and get a behind the scenes glance and an update into what's going on. So that's the best snapshot that I can give you. So it's a little bit of a delicate process. I leaned on them pretty strongly with the goal of not breaking it, but to really challenge some of the things so that they understand there are some things that will change, mostly for them, and not as much for us. And I can't tell you if it computed. Their team now is going to meet and debrief. I imagine they're not going to meet before next Tuesday. I really don't know. One of their key leaders, like he's working 60, 80 hours a week, and he's in a new role. So I know they'll do the best they can to meet as soon as they can. And until then, I'm really not going to have any more updates for you. But as soon as we know something more, we'll let you know. But just be patient. Pray about this process. I've been really excited. I do feel like this whole thing is elevated prayer in our community. And in the end, we're going to be patient, and we're trusting God because He has a plan. He's got a plan. He's got a place for us. He's got something that He's doing in us right now. And we're just going to have peace in that and trust in that. And at the same time, we're going to just do ministry. We're going to be doing outreach and pouring into people and working to get all of you as connected as possible. So yeah, that's the update. Thank you for listening to this. Thank you for your partnership and digging even more with New Life. And just before you go, again, this weekend, please be inviting friend, family member to come and sit with you, and make sure that you're there as we start this. It couldn't be a more perfectly timed series with everything like what I just talked about. The Christian life, it's not what you think. Okay, so that starts this Sunday. So you be there, be praying about this. Love all of you, and we'll talk to you later. All right, bye.